So Blade Runner asks one of the deepest questions: what really makes us human? Is it our memories, our emotions, or our choices? So when we relate this to hypnotherapy, we also deal with programming, beliefs, and memories that might not be even fully true, but still think or shape who we are. So my name is Rich Clark, Guide to the Right Path. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. So first of all, I'm going to talk about this topic, about identity and memory. So in the film Blade Runner, replicants have implanted memories. So replicants, these are androids, AI droids. And these often relate, when we want to relate to normal people in hypnosis, clients often live with implanted beliefs. So one we see a lot of as a hypnotherapist is, I'm not good enough. I always fail. Everything always goes wrong. You're over anxious, which is the idea of general anxiety, is that you always feel something's going to go wrong, or I'm going to get ill, or you have post-traumatic stress disorder. So with hypnotherapy, what that does as a hypnotherapist when we're working is we help separate your false programming from your authentic self. So the question always lies is this: are we living from our true self or just the scripts we've been given? Now, another issue that comes up in the film Blade Runner, which is also very impertinent to people's thought process, is the fear of the machine automatic programming. So humans in the film fear of the AI or the androids taking over, or they're fearing they're violent, or they fear they've got something to be afraid of. Now, as humans, we fear our unconscious patterns taking over. This is addictions, anxiety, or compulsion. So what does hypnotherapy do? Well, it lets us pause, reprogram, and regain agencies over these automatic loops. So the idea of when we reprogram is we are doing this from a point of view of we are changing the way we are triggered to a response of something. Now, in the Blade Runner film, dystopia is the inner landscape. And in Blade Runner, we have this dark neon soaked city reflects the unconscious mind when it's full of fear and hopelessness. In the film, there's this very much of a dystopian idea that everybody feels controlled. They feel they can't do anything. They feel in fear of what's going on. And it feels that there's no hope. But in clientele, in what we deal with in hypnotherapy, they live in a mental dystopia. And they believe that everything in their life is going wrong. And what they need is to bring clarity to that. And the way that does is the therapy brings the light, order, and hope into that inner sanctum of the mind. Now, with the consciousness and humanity showed in Blade Runner, is the replicants start to show emotions. Now, this is something what many people are afraid of with Android and AI, is that once AI gets the consciousness, they can do this. So the replicants show anger, they show love, they show grief, and they struggle to prove they're real because they look real, but the idea of the programming of the people have been told they are not, and they only have a 5-year shelf life. Humans don't have that, obviously. But the one thing is we've got to understand in hypnotherapy, people learn to validate their feelings rather than dismiss them as not real or not important. So within hypnotherapy, when we've got our feelings, we have to understand the feelings of how we triggered by a response, by something what happens to us. That can be also when we meet certain people, we can be triggered by their behavior or how their tone is related to something we've had in the past. So the idea of hypnotherapy is the suggestion is our humanity is proven by feeling, not by perfection. And the idea of I'm not good enough and I always fail is based on that. And that is what causes anxiety. That's what causes compulsion. And then the idea of addiction is dropping out because they can't live up to that standard. So in conclusion, Blade Runner challenged us to ask us, am I living as myself or a programmed machine? Whereas hypnosis and hypnotherapy helps us step out of dystopian ideology, reclaim our self-identity and our self-purpose and our power, and live as the most authentic version of who we truly are. So if you are interested in finding and reclaiming your identity, or getting over the implanted beliefs of I'm not good enough, or your over-crippling anxiety, or whatever that is, please don't hesitate to contact me, and it will be on the screen now with the details of my website, which is www.richclark.net, and you can make a booking for a free discovery call, or you can email me at info@richclark.net about any topic or anything if you're not too sure where to go from there, and even just to have a mini discussion and work from there. So until next time, I shall speak to you soon.